Okay, so now we have completed the hip bone. We are gonna move on to another part. Let's not just keep on recalling, let's also learn something new, okay? Because I think that would help us a bit in covering the portions, yeah? So, one thing that we're gonna learn now is we're gonna learn popliteal fossa, okay? So, back of thigh, popliteal fossa, yeah. What we're gonna do is we are gonna see popliteal fossa. Remember what I just said now about biceps femoris? Biceps femoris starts from the inferomedial part of the ischial tuberosity. Remember that. Okay. So biceps femoris forms a part of the popliteal fossa. Yes. But is it the only part where it is seen? Actually speaking, when you talk about muscles, it is not restricted. Okay, muscles are not restricted. We learn it region by region, but it is not restricted. So you would see quite a lot of muscles coming in a lot of areas. Like for example, you would learn about adductor longus in the front of thigh, femoral triangle. You would also find it in the adductor compartment or the medial compartment. And a part of the adductor compartment, which is the adductor magnus, can also be seen in the back of thigh. And it was also seen in the popliteal surface because it makes sense, right? It is a whole circle, right? It is a whole circle. So one thing that you will be learning, or you have already learned, is that there are three septas. Okay, so you know that there are fascias, right? There are fascias. We have got the skin, we have got we have got the superficial fascia, we have got the deep fascia. So this deep fascia is gonna get converted into three major things. Okay, it's gonna modify into three major things. What are these three major things? So we got the IT band or the iliotibial tract, starting from the ilia to the tibia. We will see that. Okay, and then we have got the muscle attached to it, the denture facial area. That's not a modification of the deep fascia. Okay, so the iliotibial tract, we got the saphenous opening, and we have also got the one that is what we need now, the intermuscular septa. Okay, we got the intermuscular septa. So when we talk about the intermuscular septa, what we need to understand is that the femur, it's gonna have a spine, right? It's gonna have a spine. It's called as the linea aspera. It looks like this. Okay, so you got to remember that this is a cross section. Imagine the femur passing like this. I'm showing you a cross section of it. It's gonna look like this. Okay, so this is gonna be the femur. Over here, this part, this is gonna be the linea aspera. So to this linea aspera, three modifications of the deep fascia are going to get attached, creating septa or division. What are these three divisions that are attached? We got the posterior, we got the lateral, and we got the medial. The posterior, lateral, and the medial. So from the lateral to the medial, we got the anterior compartment. From the posterior to medial, we got the medial compartment. From posterior to lateral, have you got the lateral compartment? No, we got the posterior compartment. Back of thigh. Okay, so this is what you need to remember. Basic. We will learn about it. We should have learned about it, but I am going in a different order. So yeah, I'm just giving you a basic intro of it. So now coming to the popliteal fossa. What is popliteus? Popliteus just means hamstring in Latin. That's it. Nothing more than that. It just means hamstring in Latin. So when we talk about popliteal fossa, what does fossa mean? Depression, right? So popliteal fossa is a rhomboid shaped or a quadrilateral fossa that is found in the back of the thigh. Okay, how? Back of the knee, below the femur, below the lower end of the femur. Yeah, see, this is the lower end of the femur, this is the upper end of the tibia. Lower end of femur, upper end of tibia. This is where the popliteal fossa is going to be found. And the best way to actually find it out is using semi-flexion, which is what I exactly did. So doing that, you would find popliteal fossa. Okay. Now moving on forward, what are all the borders of this popliteal fossa? We got 4 borders. Quadrilateral, right? We got 4 borders. So how do we know it? What is? How can we understand that? That's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna visualize it. Okay. We're gonna see that. It is visible. So which side if I stand will it be visible? Okay, I can stand any side then. Fine. Okay. Let me zoom it. We can't zoom. Fine. You are just with me for this then. Okay. So let's imagine our right legs now, which means that I'm standing like this. So this part is going to be my medial surface. This is going to be my lateral surface. So supralaterally, what is it that we have found? Supralaterally, we have the biceps femoris. Okay, we have got the biceps femoris. Biceps femoris has 2 heads. Biceps makes sense, right? Biceps femoris. So out of that, one head is going to come from the axial tuberosity. I told you just now, right? It's going to come from the which part? The inferomedial part, right? It's going to come from the inferomedial part. The semimembranosus is the one that is going to come from the supralateral part. Okay? So this is going to come one head. The long head is going to come from the ischial tuberosity. The shorter head is going to come from the linea aspera. Okay? Linea aspera. And then when we talk about the medial part, the supromedial, we have got 2 parts. The semimembranosus and the semitendinosus. Okay? We got the semimembranosus and the semitendinosus. Why? Because the semitendinosus is going to be a lot more medial. It's going to be outer part. Okay? No, it's going to be semitendinosus is going to be a lot more inner and the semimembranosus is going to be a lot more outer. Okay then. Learn it. Semitendinosus is going to be a lot more inner and the semimembranosus is going to be a lot more outer. Okay? But the attachment of the semimembranosus is going to be out. Semitendinosus is going to be out because it's going to attach the medial surface of the tibia. Okay? Now, coming to the lower part. Okay? The lower part, we have got the infromedial part and the infralateral part. It's going to be 2 heads of the same muscle, the gastrocnemius muscle. So, the medial head of the gastrocnemius and the lateral head of the gastrocnemius. Okay? So, now, let's have a brief look at the various contents that are present over here. Okay, so when you talk about the popliteal fossa, the content is going to be like this. So we have got the popliteal vein in the middle. Remember that. Okay, and we have got the popliteal artery more medially. Okay, why is this not working? Okay, more medially. And then we have got 2 structures. Okay, so we have something called as the sciatic nerve in the back of our thigh. We got something called as the sciatic nerve in the back of our thigh. So what is the sciatic nerve going to do? It is the thickest nerve, easily detectable nerve. Okay, so this sciatic nerve is going to divide into 2 parts. It's going to divide into the tibial nerve and the common peroneal nerve. The tibial nerve is towards the media. Why? Because tibia is medial, right? And the common peroneal is going to go laterally. Okay, the common peroneal is going to go laterally. So at the top of this, the popliteal fossa, the top angle, the superior angle, the sciatic nerve is going to divide into the more medial tibial nerve and the more lateral common peroneal nerve. Okay? But what we need to understand is that despite the fact that common peroneal nerve is lateral and our tibial nerve is medial, it is still lateral when compared to the popliteal artery and the popliteal fossa. It is still lateral only. Okay, adavudhu, let's consider this, okay, to be one part is the more, okay, so this is going to be the medial surface, this is going to be the lateral surface. My right is going to be the lateral, my left is going to be the medial. Okay, so more medially we have got the artery, more laterally or in the middle we have got the vein. Now this is one part in the medial part, right? So now over here there's going to be two things that are going to get divided. We have got the more medial, what is this? We have got the more, okay, let's do like this. Okay, we have got the more medial tibial and the more lateral common peroneal. But despite the fact, what is this? Inget is the vascular bundle. Over here the nerve is still lateral only, no? That is what it means. Okay. So over here we are going to have the two branches. The common peroneal and what is this? The tibial. What happens is that after a certain point it's going to overlap. Okay, the tibial moves laterally to the medial part. Okay, laterally to the medial part. So this can be divided into three regions: the upper part, the medial part, and the lower part. So the upper part, okay, what happens is that we have got it like A, V, and N. A, V, and N in the upper part of the popliteal fossa, which means from medial to lateral, it's going to be an artery, the popliteal vein, and the tibial nerve. Okay. Next up, we have got in the medial part, it is going to overlap three parts. Okay, it's going to overlap. Do I have any strings? I do have certain strings, but then it's okay. Okay, so it's going to be more medially, laterally. We have got the, what is this? The artery, the vein, and the nerve. What happens is that this is the upper part, right? It's going to go like this. Do you see that? The artery moves down, the vein is in the middle, and the nerve is over here. So in the medial part, it overlaps. From here, it's going to go like this. So it's going to become like this. And what happens next? Upward reversal, like this. Okay, so we got the nerve, the vein, and the artery. That is how it works. That is how the popliteal fossa's components works. Okay, so we have seen the components of popliteal fossa. We have not seen the floor of it, nor have we seen the roof of it. That's what we're going to see next. For that, we won't be needing the whiteboard, so I'm going to move. I'm going to sit because I need to. Okay. Okay. Fine then. Let's read through it. So the roof, okay, supralaterally, supramedially, inframedially, we have covered that. Roof, it is formed by the deep fascia or the popliteal fascia. The roof, the deep fascia or the popliteal fascia is the one that covers it. Makes sense, right? Popliteus is even more deep. The deep fascia is what covers it. Right. Moving on forward, you gotta remember that this is in the back of the thigh. So the first roof is going to be the deep fascia. Okay. So what are all the parts that the deep fascia is going to the roof is going to compose of? Now look at this roof. Okay. It's not the cement. It's got to have its rods, it's going to have wires and everything, right? So similarly, the roof is also going to have certain things, right? What are all the stuff that it's going to have? It's going to have the small saphenous vein and the cutaneous nerves. Small saphenous vein and the cutaneous nerve. Saphenous nale, it is what? It is outside. Correct? It is outside. It's going to be mostly cutaneous only. Makes sense. So small saphenous vein and the cutaneous nerves. Okay. Next, what are all the various cutaneous nerves that are found? Cutaneous nerves we are going to say what are these three. So there are three cutaneous nerves. What are these three cutaneous nerves? So branch and terminal part of the posterior cutaneous nerve of the thigh. The posterior cutaneous nerve of the thigh or the branches, and the medial cutaneous nerve of the thigh or the branches, and the peroneal or the sural communicating nerve of the nerve. Okay. So what are all the parts that we have got? We have got three branches, cutaneous nerves, and one small saphenous vein. One small saphenous vein and three branches. What are these three branches? We got the posterior cutaneous nerve, we have got the sural communicating nerve or the peroneal nerve, okay, common peroneal sural communicating nerve, and we have got the medial cutaneous nerve. Okay.